All right, welcome to Lights, Camera, Barstool. Today, I know we had a little bit of a week delay. It's been a little bit of a crazy week. Probably going to get, honestly, even crazier next week. But today, we have a lot of news to catch up on, and we're also going to be doing some, we'll say, like mini reviews of some stuff that we've been watching. Starting out, and also we have Klemmer on.
Hello.
Big movie guy, as anyone that's watched LCB knows.
Yes, I love movies.
Yeah.
I'm doing my top 10 movies of the 90s now. Well, top 100. We're in the top 10. Number 10 is Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
Only 10?
Number 10, Boogie Nights, yeah.
Definitely deserving the top 10. I might even go higher with it.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, now we're at the point with the top 10. It's like they're all great, so like it's hard to even like rank them.
Yeah.
We
I saw that with Owen last year over at the Film Center on 35mm. I mean, just fucking unreal.
It's incredible. The cast is incredible. Like,
Top to bottom.
PTA like 27 when he made that too?
and think about some of those shots, like the William H. Macy one.
Dude, the Oneer is insane.
Insane. I mean,
So complicated.
even the beginning, like when they go into like the disco, and like,
Yeah.
it's just all of it. It's such a visually stunning movie. Even like whatever when they come out, 97, so like
Yeah.
what, like 25 years later, more than
Yeah.
that, almost 30 years later, it's still
Oh, yeah.
incredible to watch.
Before we get to any of that, we're going to talk about some news. First being that 2 Predator movies will now release next year instead of just the singular Dan Trachtenberg Badlands. This is because Trachtenberg filmed a second movie, Secret separate from the follow-up to Prey. This is very, very cool. This is awesome because Prey was amazing. Like, blew out, I think, at least for us, all of our expectations for it. Because, like, yeah, a straight-to-streaming Predator sequel. None of the Predator sequels have really been, like, good.
No, not even Predator 2 with Gary Busey and Danny Glover back in
Like,
the day.
that one is horrible.
It's bad.
AVP movies are not great.
No.
The Predators one with Adrian Brody wasn't awful, but then the one with
Was it Topher Grace in the other one? Or was that
Topher Grace was in that one, Predators,
Predator
and then
was fine.
The Predator, which was the one with Boyd Holbrook, right?
The
And
autistic child.
the autism was a superpower in that one. That one was really bad.
Didn't
and
see
then
that one.
Prey, I didn't
see Prey.
Prey was really good.
All right.
See, I've only seen 2 Predator sequels, and it's AVP
Yeah.
and Prey.
Predators is not.
No, there's been no endorsement from anyone to make me like go out of my way and try to see any of the other ones.
Okay, so Predators, all the people wake up and they're falling from a parachute onto what they realize is an alien planet, and they're on like a game reserve for the aliens, like a planet that's just a game reserve for the aliens.
Okay.
And like all the people that are being dropped in are from super, super dangerous people from different parts of the world. Like Adrian Brody's like a mercenary. Walton Goggins plays like a serial killer.
Okay, now I might be in.
No, it's not the one. I saw the other one, and I saw the one with the autistic.
Yeah, that one
That
sucked
was
ass.
terrible. I did not see this one.
But yeah, this one has Walton Goggins as a serial killer. Topher Grace is a Kevorkian doctor that has killed like hundreds of people, and no one had caught
Is this
him.
one good?
I think it's
Kind of like the Cash.
there's a Yakuza guy. There's like a Russian whatever you call that, like not KGB. But
This is a good premise.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm kind of getting like hooked in here.
there's like Danny Trejo plays like a
all right.
cartel enforcer.
Let's go.
There's a Yakuza guy. There's fucking, and Lawrence Fishburne is like a surviving guy in it,
All right.
and there's like a lot about it is cool. It's not like fantastic or anything like that, but
No,
there's like
but
some.
this sounds like a movie you throw on late at night.
Yeah.
You have a couple drinks, have a couple gummies, and
The Yakuza guy and one of the Predators has like a really cool like old school like samurai face off where it's like both of them are standing here and then they run past each other.
Oh, I have seen that.
Yeah, it's kind of fucking cool.
I'll watch this.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's whatever. But the Prey itself was awesome.
All right.
Again, we had very low expectations for it being straight to streaming the Predator sequel, but it was really, really good. So the fact they did this, and then they also did kind of what Ty West did with X and Pearl, where they filmed X, and while they're filming, like, oh, we have an idea for another. Let's just shoot more of it. So they did that, and they made Pearl, which is also amazing. And this is great. This is fantastic. Very into this.
Do you know when these are coming out?
Next year.
Do you know,
Both in theaters.
Yeah.
Do you know when? No.
Don't know if I got specific
Like
dates yet.
fall?
Badlands would have a date by now.
Yeah, a little bit of 2025. But yeah, it'll be next year at some point for
Okay.
sure. But yeah, very pumped.
Yeah, no. Clemmer, you should definitely check out Prey. It's
Yeah, I
one
will.
of the best directors. I think top 10 direct-to-streaming movies. I don't think that's out there to say in terms of quality. Like, it was kind of shocking that it wasn't on a big screen.
Are you counting like Coda and like?
Yeah,
Killers of the
yeah,
Flower Moon and
definitely
stuff,
counting
like, in
Coda. Killers of the Flat, no.
There's been some like legitimately like really good like.
I guess like outside of the Prestige, maybe, but like I'm
It
sorry.
didn't have an awards run. Like
Okay.
the weird direct-to-streaming movies
Yeah.
that like
Yeah,
like The
that's fair.
Irishman gets like a little bit of a run.
Yeah.
But in terms of like all the other stuff, yeah, no, it's great.
Is Irishman the best stream? That might
No,
be the best.
let's say from like a blockbuster perspective, they
know,
released
I
a lot of blockbusters on streaming, and they all suck.
Yeah,
They're always bad. Like we were talking about it before. This like weird money laundering movie that The Rock and
Red
Chris Evans or Red One.
Oh
One.
yeah. So I see the commercial.
Yeah.
I was like,
That tweet cracked me up. It's if you haven't seen it, Red One, starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Chris
J.K.
Evans
Simmons.
and J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
You might have gotten a trailer at this point, maybe not. They're like, it's tracking for $36 million currently. This is Christmas opening weekend. They're like, the budget is in the mid 200s.
oh,
Like, how the fuck do you make a Christmas movie cost $250 million?
It's insane. Makes no goddamn sense.
that's crazy. What is the best streaming movie of all time?
If you include the awards stuff.
yeah, count the Irish.
I really like Roma.
Irishman.
I think it is, right?
Yeah.
I really
think
like
probably
Roma.
Yeah.
Roma was really, and that won multiple Oscars.
Roma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to think. There's good ones. For
I know.
sure.
I know.
Yeah.
But
yeah, they're filming. They made a second one. And speaking of, you mentioned AVP. There's going to be likely a new Alien vs Predator movie that will happen, according to 20th Century Studios president. AVP 1 is one of the ultimate. Like, I know this isn't good while I'm watching this. Even as a kid, I knew this wasn't good. But watching it on FX, I was like, I'm into watching just a creature feature in Antarctica, the aliens fighting the Predator. That's just kind of cool. Set up by Predator 2, one of the worst sequels.
oh,
I had it on in the background. Our last episode we recorded. Yeah, very bad movie.
Requiem
really
was
bad.
worse.
Like, if you think the ADR for that villain in Madam Web was bad, the French guy,
Yeah.
AVP, he's so bad. They clearly had to re-record like all of his lines. It's stupid as shit. Like, it's really stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something about like an Alien versus Predator. My dumb like 14-year-old brain wants to see it. It's like looking up those YouTube videos of like who would win in a fight, Goku versus Superman. Like,
Yeah.
I just need to see it on screen. They just have to execute, and I'll be all in. But yeah, AVP. Let's resuscitate the franchise.
Yeah. I don't. Did you watch any of the AVPs?
I mean, I had it on like the first one. I've seen it. It's terrible.
Requiem was way worse, but
That one I don't believe I've had the pleasure of watching.
Yeah.
I have a question because I think we're gonna pivot into Alien now.
Alien Romulus. Yeah.
How do you feel since you're Gen X? Pretty firmly.
Yeah. On the
So
younger
they're-
side, but
they're
yeah.
clearly coming at your properties now. Like, this is your turn to have all your properties like
Rebooted, reimagined.
I mean, yeah. The Alien. I mean, I grew up obviously with Alien and Aliens. Like, those are like core movies that I grew up with. Alien came out around the same time I was born, like the same like month. I mean, if it's done well, then great. Like, it's like anything. If it's done well and there's care put into it, I have no issue with that. I mean, but they've been coming for my shit for a while. I mean, Star Wars.
Yeah, I guess.
Force Awakens. They've been coming for my shit for a while. And like, as long as it's good, I don't care. I don't really. My thing is like, I don't love when they do like remakes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'd choose a reboot over a remake because it's like, why are
Like a
we
reimagining, yeah.
Yeah, like, why are we making this again? We have a good version already exists. Like, it's like that bothers me more. But no, I mean, as long as it's good and there's care put into it, then like I'll appreciate it.
Dude, it's so
Good
crazy.
answer.
It's so crazy how much movies have shifted. I just went to 1990 to see like what would be the like highest grossing movies in 1990 to see like what would be in like your sphere for this. The highest grossing domestic movie of 1990, Ghost.
Yeah,
Like that would never happen.
Well, I will say that was weird. So even in the moment, that was weird.
But then the second highest grossing one, Pretty Woman. Like that would never happen now.
A rom-com.
Yeah.
Richard Gere and Julia Roberts.
I think the last time
Julia Roberts wasn't a star.
Yeah,
That was
she
the movie
was
that
coming
made her
off
a
Mystic
star.
Pizza,
Yeah,
right?
but that, no one gives a shit about that.
the last time something like that's happened is like there's something about Mary I think cracked the top 5 domestic, and I don't think anything has come close from that genre since.
William Goldman, yeah, it's a book. I think it's out of print now. But William Goldman wrote Princess Bride. But he also and Butch Cassidy's Sundance Kid. He wrote books about movies, and he wrote some great books about 1990s box office. They took essays he did for Vanity Fair and put it into a book. And it talks about how weird this is and how weird this year is, and like.
It is bizarro.
That's the same year Home Alone came out, right?
Home Alone was number 3.
Yeah, like
year.
Home Alone was not supposed to be a massive hit. Like, it was supposed to be like, oh, all right, you know what's supposed to be a hit that year was Godfather 3, Rocky 5. Those are the blockbusters. And instead, you end up with Home Alone. No one knew what the fuck Macaulay Culkin was. He was an Uncle Buck, kind of, but like, and it becomes a giant. 1990 was a weird year.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like Christopher Columbus wasn't like a guy yet. He was like an acolyte of what's his name of John Hughes.
Yes, and then I think he did some stuff with Joe Dante. He did some stuff with the Gremlins, I think. So yeah, it was very weird. Yes.
And then after that, TMNT was the number 4. That is like I could see at least relating that to today.
No, that's fucking insane.
But you relate that's number 4 in the year.
That was a huge movie, man. Like me and my friends, we saw it. Like I'm 10 years old. I'm right in the wheelhouse for this. Like
hits movies will rust in there sometimes.
Yeah.
But like The Hunt for the Red October, no chance that gets into the top 5.
I disagree with that.
And like a movie like that.
So, remember, it's based off a giant book.
That's
Tom Clancy was huge. You had Sean Connery and Alec Baldwin, who were both pretty big stars at the time.
That's true.
That movie, that would be a hit. Like, that same structure would be a hit today.
Total Recall.
That would be a hit today.
I think so, too. I think, especially because people now, when they watch Total Recall then, I don't think they read into the subtleties of Verhoeven at all.
I was going to say, not in 2015, it wasn't.
Yeah, that's true.
No, well, yeah, but it was like, that movie wasn't fun. Like, Total Recall, the original, is fun as fuck.
See, Die Hard 2, I totally get now.
Massive hit. I mean,
makes total sense.
And it's crazy. I don't really like that movie that much. But Die Hard 1 was such a, like, I saw Die Hard 1 in the theaters, and it was one of the greatest movie experiences of my life. Because it was so crazy to see a regular guy, not this muscle up, like a regular guy, fight off these terrorists. It was crazy. That was awesome.
That was right after, because like the 80s, they flipped into the muscle-bound freak, and then they flipped back in the 90s to like the more lean look. And then number 8 on your highest-grossing movie in the United States, Driving Miss Daisy. That's insane.
Well,
that's insane. That would never happen now.
Well, won Best Picture.
But I'm saying,
and you're probably right. It wouldn't happen now. But back then, when you won Best Picture, it meant a lot. It meant that you got a longer stay in the box office. Best Picture meant box office back then. It just did. I'm not saying it should have. And that movie aged about as bad as like a pizza you leave out. Like literally the next year afterwards, like maybe that wasn't a good idea.
After that was Dick Tracy.
So that was a bomb. Not bomb, I shouldn't say. I shouldn't.
103. It's the number 9 grossing movie.
I'm sorry. Bombs over. Excuse me. It underachieved. That was supposed to be number 1 of the year. Warren Beatty, who was a big star then. Al Pacino. Dustin Hoffman has a part in that. Madonna. Like that was supposed to be the summer hit. And
then lastly, Back to the Future Part 3.
Underwhelmed. Back to the Future Part 2, they fucked up with that. So they made 2. We're talking about this a lot today.
Sorry,
No. This is good. They made 2 and 3 at the same time.
Yeah.
They made 2 and then immediately went 3. It wasn't a secret like the movies you're talking about, but it was back to back.
Yeah.
They released Back to the Future 2 in December of '89. Pretty big hit. People got fatigued, and people also didn't really like westerns. Like it was like, what are we doing? And they put this out in May, I believe, of '90, and people were like, I don't really want to see. And some people hadn't even seen 2 yet. 2 was a big hit, but like 6 months later is ridiculous.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they fucked up with that.
In my head, the turnaround of like the Western, because I feel like that Western fatigue kind of set in like maybe the late 80s until like Unforgiven and like Dances with Wolves. But even Dances with Wolves, I feel like wasn't like that same structure.
Which was the next year. So it's like, all right, so like, you might ask yourself, well, then why did Back to the Future 3 fail and Dances with Wolves succeed? Well, Dances with Wolves won Best Picture.
Yeah.
And it was a serious Western. People, I don't think, wanted to see a comedic Western.
Yeah.
And you're right, but I feel like
what year was Unforgiven? That was
the year after that.
Year after that, okay.
I feel like the Western fatigue still kind of exists. Now we have Yellowstone, which has like, been the biggest Western movement since I've been alive. Like the thing, like I don't remember anything being as big as Yellowstone or Western. Do you guys like?
What do they call them again? New Westerns
in our lives
or
neo Western?
Neo Westerns.
Yeah, I don't remember anything being as like culturally big as a Western in my life.
Yeah.
Other than Yellowstone, but that's not a movie.
I think people don't realize that they like westerns, but then they'll be like, "Oh, I love Hell or High Water," or "I love Sicario," or "I love Wind River." Or
you're exactly right. You're absolutely.
This is westerns
and
grafted
like Unforgiven
into
and where Dancing with Wolves is a fine movie. I think Back to the Future 3 is better than 2.
And people,
by the way, in a lot of ways, not in every way.
People fucking love Red Dead Redemption and like all these games that are about westerns.
Actually, you know what? That might even overtake Yellowstone as far as being media property,
culturally relevant,
the biggest western.
Yeah.
Which I love. I love 1 and 2 are among the most beautiful, amazing, fun games I've ever played in my life.
Fantastic storytelling.
Oh my god!
They were we went there with the Barstool Game Time crew to the Rockstar offices to like film right when it came out, and
that's cool.
It was awesome. The Rockstar studios were so cool, and they gave us like all these like mountains of swag. Like here's a duster, here's like a shot glass, here's a compass, here's like all these different things. It was super fucking cool. But sorry, that's a big tangent. But
I love that stuff. I'll do that sometime. I'll go through like old box office just to see. I just find it interesting.
It's insane. Like half those would never even crack like the top 20 on the year. The first trailer for the Oscars Best Picture contender, September 5th, about the Munich massacre, told from the perspective of the ABC broadcast crew, came out. When I see that, I immediately think of a movie that I think we both like that didn't think got enough respect, which is Munich.
I don't just like Munich. I love music.
I think it's a really good
favorite Spielberg movies. And in fact, I love Munich so much. This trailer pissed me off.
Yeah, it made me a little like.
This trailer aggravated the fuck out of me. I'm not gonna lie.
This is gonna be an Oscar Best Picture runner, and like Munich just got no respect.
Well, it's not just that. I don't give a fuck about the journalists.
Like,
stop blowing journalists. Enough. Like no one. I swear to God, no one other than journalists loves journalists more than anything. But the second on that list is the media. The media just like we saw it with The Post that came out a few years ago.
Yep.
Spotlight's a good movie. But like you could also argue like maybe we tell from the victims as opposed to these like fucking random reporters. Like I don't know. And this thing, it's like there's a really amazing story about what happened at the '72 Olympics. It's a terrible, tragic story. If you're younger and don't know, watch Munich. But the reporters, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's Peter Sarsgaard's like the big name in it. Tim Fellbaum is the director.
Well, I don't know.
Neither do I. Swiss film director. But yeah, that's one I just wanted to mention because I know that we both have a big fondness for Munich the movie, and feel like it was a little disrespected.
Do you guys think this is an Oscar?
Not for me. Yeah, no, I saw the trailer and I was kind of shocked to see that it has Oscar buzz. I mean, obviously got to see the movie, but
they do love
does
journalists.
not. Yeah, they do, but I'll tell you what's even more shocking. Emilia Perez, once you all see that fucking movie, good lord, what a pile of trash. And it's in like a lot of top fives, like across categories.
Yeah.
Big stinky pile of poop. But this movie,
it's the Gomez
doing
movie,
nothing
right?
for me. Probably will wait till like the third weekend to see it. Like, that trailer really did nothing for me.
2020 is the worst movie year ever, and there's good reason for that.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the worst movie year that I can remember in maybe my life.
The strike is starting to show itself a little bit here, but it's the movies that have come out have not been good.
I will say they have fumbled the releases on like a lot of the good movies this year.
That's also true.
So like I was looking through my top 12 today, like they fumbled. A24 has fumbled the release for Anora, like completely fumbled.
We were just talking about this. Yeah.
The Brutalist is not going to play in like more than 3 cities. I don't think. Like it's just not likely. Dee, one of the year
very good movie.
favorites, barely played anywhere. Hitman went straight to Netflix. A lot of these movies, just like the good ones, just they did not let them get into theaters and they didn't promote them. So yeah, it looks like shit. Like if you go through the blockbusters, it's a bad year for blockbusters, especially stuff directed at general audiences. It's bad.
Yeah.
What's gonna seriously? What are the real best picture contenders? Like, is there anything we haven't seen?
This
come out
one's
yet?
It'll be Anora.
And it's gonna be Anora for sure.
Anora, The Brutalist I saw last night, I think will definitely be top 3. Dune Part 2 will get in there as a nom. I'd be shocked if it wins.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. That's my number 1 on the year.
Okay.
And then there's some other stuff. I know Steve McQueen's got a movie coming up with Saoirse Ronan.
Yeah,
some buzz. Blitz.
The Blitz one. Yeah, the one.
He's great.
He's very good director.
Widows is like
Dude,
one of my most
Widows.
underrated movies of the last 10 years.
It was like so close to being. It's very underrated. It's so close to being like that next level. Like, you know what I mean?
It's pretty close for me, man. I really like that movie.
The one scene where there's 2 really big scenes in Widows that I always thought were awesome, which is one is where Kaluuya is in the gym and he's just in the gym just pacing around the guy, like intimidating him. So
you mean the
cool.
bowling alley?
Yeah. Or sorry, it's bowling alley.
Bowling alley. That's a great scene.
Bowling alley or is it a gymnasium? I thought it was a gymnasium.
In my mind, it's a bowling alley. Am I misremembering that?
And then basketball gym.
You guys both say gym, so I'm probably wrong.
And then there was a scene.
No, there's a gym. No, in the bowling alley is when he's like torturing the guy, right? Am I crazy?
There's a guy there where they sit him down and Daniel Kaluuya.
The best part of the movie.
Yeah, Kaluuya is like literally just pacing around in circles, like trying to intimidate him.
Yes.
And then there's another scene where it's like Colin Farrell plays the guy that's like he doesn't live in the district he manages, and he's in the limo, and they drive from there to where he actually lives in the full one shot, and like he goes to from the shit neighborhood to the nice one. Brilliant shot.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Such a good movie. If you haven't seen Widows, go check it out.
Yeah.
I really like that movie a lot.
Great casting. I mean,
great. Yeah.
This is early DeBecky before she was like
Yep.
really taking off.
That's the first thing I think I saw her in.
Yeah.
I'm like, this woman's stunning. What is this?
So,
yeah.
Good lord.
9 feet tall.
God.
It's gorgeous.
When she's in the front seat in Tenet and she opens up the back door with her foot.
Yeah.
I love a tall woman.
The Chris Hemsworth is and talks to stars Prince Charming in a Disney live action Prince Charming movie. Does nothing for me, but like that will.
This is the most obvious. They saw Barbie last year, and like,
yeah,
people really like Ken. Can we do a Ken movie?
Yeah.
What do we have on the shelf? And they're like, we could do like a washed up Prince Charming, and that's what we're getting.
I'll note though, in as far as like the Hollywood actor charming ranks go, like Chris Hemsworth's up there.
Oh yeah,
he's super
certainly.
fucking charming.
Certainly, and I guess you can't do. Pine would be my other choice there, but he's been used, I think, in those roles.
Yes, I feel
for
like he
Enchanted.
has, right? Yeah, I think you're right.
Right? Princess Diaries 2. I think he plays
like
a prince.
Yes.
He's played those roles, so I guess you can't use him. But yeah, I mean, he's good. He's a good choice if you're gonna do it. But
yeah,
I will say this is better than like taking the cartoons and just like repaint or like turning them into CGI
3D
live action.
CGI animation.
Like, this is a better move than that.
First trailer for Severance season 2 came out, looked crazy. Feels like we've been waiting for 20 years. I have not seen this.
I don't have Apple, and everyone in my life says I need to watch Severance.
Severance is
and I
very
need to
good.
just like get Apple. I don't know why I don't have it. I just don't have it. I blame them for not marketing themselves well, but it's really my fault.
Dude, Apple has the worst marketing on the planet.
They have like all these good shows, right?
Movies.
I need to just get Apple. Like I'm just stupid. I just need to get Apple.
They're also again. I don't necessarily blame you versus their marketing department because they are truly awful.
I just don't think they even care. Like I really don't think they care if anything makes money. I really don't. I think they're just trying to get in like good graces with all these artists. And this is their way of doing it. They don't. They just do for a company that has the GDP of like a top 10 country. Like they don't spend any money on marketing, which is crazy.
I saw Coda in the movie theaters. I saw obviously Killers of the Flower Moon in the movie theaters. But I know they're both Apple production. Apple does really high quality work, and I just don't. I need to just do it. It's on me.
But Severance is very good, and the trailer for it was awesome. Like the camera work was nuts. I don't know how they did that.
This has been because the season 1 ends on like an all-time cliffhanger.
Okay.
All-time cliffhanger. So this has been, and the production for season 2 has been a shit show, to say the least. There's rumors that they just drew out each other this first season and never had a plan for the second season, which is crazy.
Who hates each other?
There was rumors that like the cast like nobody was on the same page with anything.
The showrunners hated each other apparently.
Wasn't it? It's Stiller, right?
Stiller is like the executive producer over all of it.
Okay.
And he directed too, didn't he?
Yeah, and he directed. But I think the two showrunners underneath of him fucking hated each other.
Yeah.
I think they sorted it out, and then just delays because of last summer. Finally got it done though. I mean, what is this? 3 years now? 4 years?
Forever it feels like. I remember we interviewed Adam Scott for Severance when it came out, and we were talking about it. And I remember before we did it, when I was just like researching shit, I was like, I saw that they had a casting call for upstate New York where they film it, and so like, oh cool, so they're doing season 2. So I mentioned that to him in the interview. I was like, oh, so like I saw you guys were casting for season 2. Like, what do you guys got going for that? And he's like, we're not making season 2 yet. There's no announcement of that. And I think I was like, oh, did I actually like out this? There was going to be a season 2, but obviously that didn't happen then anyway, so maybe I was wrong either way.
Here's how long ago it was. They were shooting, they did a thing in, I think it was season 1, it must have been season 1, in New Orleans at a hotel that I was staying at with my wife. We're on vacation. It was before I started working here.
Yeah.
So that's how, like,
Jesus.
Yeah. So Severance, was I think released before I was working here. That's how long ago it was.
Speaking of long delays, Marvel's Blade movie, which is supposed to be Mahershala Ali, it's been delayed indefinitely, removed from the release schedule. This movie has just been marred in 15 different layers of shit, and like to the point where it's been delayed for so long that a movie came out and made fun of how much it's been delayed. Like Deadpool did a whole bit about how there will only ever be one Blade. And again, it's Marvel, owned by Disney, one of the biggest companies like Apple, just shit tons of money. It's Mahershala Ali, one of the top flight actors on the planet, and it's a very like well-respected character. Especially like you could say like, hey, Blade's kind of goofy or whatever. People like Blade a lot. Mm-hmm. All of these ingredients should be like this movie should come out eventually. Everything seems to have gone wrong with it. It's crazy.
Why? Like, why is this not happening?
I think it's Ali.
You know?
I think it's Mahershala Ali. They were supposed to start filming November 2023. So 2022, 2 years ago.
Jesus.
And then about 2 weeks before filming started, all of a sudden there wasn't a script, there wasn't a director, and I think it's because Mahershala Ali saw what he was about to go into and was like, hell no, not doing this bullshit. And he's been trying to get his own people in place. It's what it feels like. He's been trying to kind of get his own people in the door, get what he wants on paper, and I just don't think he can do it. I think there's just like he wants to be very creative and forward with it. That's the kind of actor he is, and Marvel is not the place for that.
Poor Kit Harington is playing this.
Yeah, and they had a post-credit scene 8 years ago. Kit Harington teasing
what was
this.
It? Eternals, right?
Yeah.
Is it the end of Eternals?
He opens the thing, and it's just the sword whispering to him.
Oh, yeah, I saw the movie. Yes.
Yes.
Gladiator 2 Popcorn Bucket came out. It's fucking cool. I know this shouldn't be like a major news thing, but it looks sick. Did you see it?
I did not.
It's like a big stadium.
Okay.
And that's like a coliseum, and there's like a
call it that, right? A coliseum.
Yeah. More or less. And there's a thing in it, like a QR code that you scan, and like it shows you like an AR version of like gladiators fighting. So like you look at it through the camera, and it shows gladiators fighting each other.
It's one of the best ones I've seen yet.
That's pretty cool.
It's like functional. It has like add-ons, like because a lot of these promo popcorn buckets, it's like this is not functional. Yeah. There's a Batman one 2 months ago for all these Batman re-releases for I guess 75th anniversary of Batman or something like that. And theirs was like. It was cool. It was like a little spotlight, the bat signal. Yeah. But like, there's no way to eat popcorn out of the thing.
Same thing with the Dune one. Honestly, same thing with the Wolverine.
Yeah, this one's just like just a round, Coliseum. So the popcorn fits in there nicely, and then You got the little gladiator fight. I love that. That's fun.
The new adaptation of American Psycho is in development at Lionsgate with Luca Guadagnino, right?
Luca.
Just with Luca. Obviously, you did Call Me by Your Name, Challengers. He's set to direct it. I mean, American Psycho movie directed by a woman, written by a gay man, and idolized by the most like sigma-pilled, whatever, red-pilled dudes on the planet.
It is very ironic.
Yeah, and now is going to be directed by, I would say, like one of the kings of gay in Luca. So I feel like it's a good kind of fit in a way, in that my brain, like kind of like the tension you get in like Call Me by Your Name and Challengers could fit well in American Psycho, but he's never done something, at least not that I've seen, where it went to like that next level that American Psycho goes to. And in my head, it's so tied into Christian Bale. It would have to be who I think you mentioned, like a Lordy or something.
Yeah, it's got to be. It'll be interesting. I think that is one of the biggest roles up for grabs now.
Yeah.
Like, why are they doing this? Like, why? We already have a good movie. Why do this?
It's a great question, but if you're gonna do it, and you're right, it's a lose situation. No matter how you cut it, this movie could be fantastic. People are gonna fucking hate it no matter what. There are people out there, very large amount of people out there, that are going to fucking hate this movie,
regardless of quality.
Regardless.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna do it, this is a good fit. Luca Guadagnino is, like you said, the king of gay. Adapting a gay man's work. And the subtext of that book, by the way, and the movie are very homosexual. And he's done this before, Suspiria. He did a re-adaptation of Suspiria, and it was much different than the original. Like you were talking earlier about remake. He did redo Suspiria, but it's so much different than the original, and I hope that's what he does here.
Fucking Dakota
makes it his own thing. Almost, they should probably give it a different title. Like,
you could do a movie that's like American Psycho without it being American Psycho, I think. Like, just like a very type A personality psycho killer type dude, but like, I don't know. I agree with you in that this is kind of like, you don't necessarily need it, but if you're going to do it, Elordi and this guy in Luca could be worse.
The first one holds up pretty well too. I
agree.
I rewatched it a couple years ago. I'm like, it's never been my favorite movie ever anyway, but like it's fine.
Yeah.
Bale's obviously incredible in it, and the performance is very good. But I just think it's fine.
Reese, was it Reese, right?
Yeah, Reese Witherspoon's in it. Chloe Sevigny's in it. It's
Justin Theroux.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a great it's a fine movie. It's fine. But like I don't know if we need to do this again. Like the original holds up just as well as it did when it came out, I feel.
What about American Psycho 2 with Mila Kunis?
I missed that one.
Yeah.
Oof.
Bad movie. The Electric State trailer came out. Russo brothers, Chris Pratt, Millie Bobby Brown. Movie cost like $400 million to make. It does not look particularly good.
I'm confused how it costs so much money to make.
It's
what happened to this money?
I don't know.
Russo brothers, no one burns money quite like them, right?
They are so particularly good at one thing and so kind of bad at everything else.
Yeah.
But to give them a little bit of fairness here, no, I can't, because The Gray Man costs a lot of money too. I was gonna say like they're just better at bigger blockbusters versus like a Cherry or whatever. But
it's so strange because they came out of the sitcom world, where I can't imagine they were working with much of a budget at all.
Arrested Development,
and they were fantastic in that world. They've had great success in Marvel, obviously.
Yeah.
But like everything outside of it, like movie wise, has just been bad. It's been bad.
Not great, and this trailer doesn't look good. It just visually is not appealing at all.
No, I was watching who's this for?
I have no.
That's the real question. Who is this movie? Like, I don't see what the audience is. I guess like if families at home, maybe. But like, are you gonna flip on like? It's kind of a depressing dystopian movie, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. For like $300 million was the actual number, right?
320.
320. Jesus.
It's insane. That's like what's gonna be like one of the more expensive movies ever made, and that's I don't understand the thought process behind it. It's kind of weird. And also I think Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
What's going on with her? She just hates movies, doesn't watch movies, and it just seems to only pick movies that look bad. So I don't.
Well, yeah, it's because she doesn't watch movies.
Yeah, she doesn't get. She doesn't understand movies. She just has this one iconic, very good role from TV, and just doesn't.
She's
care.
in that other thing too, right? The Sherlock Holmes.
She saw.
I'm not saying it's not
respect.
me.
Good point. Good point.
Demo, but like
she is pretty good.
That's a good point. That's
gotta give her credit.
rescinded. I'll give her credit on Nola Holmes. I like Nola Holmes quite a bit, and she's very good in it. And also, that's a very tight script to give them more credit. But yeah, I don't get that. And also,
Tom Cruise is a crazy person, right? Like we all can agree on that. He's like,
yeah.
Yes. Like doesn't fuck fish.
Does not.
But like he's a lunatic. But there's one thing. I don't think Tom Cruise is like a human being. I don't think he has human emotions. He has very bad like connections, like especially like famously like romantic connections. It seems very odd and forced. Tom Cruise does love one thing though. He loves movies and he gets movies.
Loves.
And that's why his movie, because he knows what makes a movie work. He might not understand human emotion, but he understands what makes a movie work. And I think we're seeing the opposite of that with Millie Bobby Brown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally agree. And then lastly, Christopher Nolan's next movie, Untitled so far, which will star Matt Damon and Tom Holland, will not be another sci-fi movie, but the speculation will be an espionage film. I tweeted about this a little bit too when they announced the Tom Holland thing. He is at kind of like a bit of like a crossroads, I would say, where like everything he's done outside of the Spider-Man universe from like a movie and TV standpoint, it's not been great. I would say, and some of it's been bad. None of it's been like, I would say, his performance level inspired. And I don't think he's ever been the reason that most of these movies have been bad, like in Cherry or with the
video game one he did with Mark Wahlberg.
Uncharted. Like I think that's probably the best one out of the entire grouping. And that's not an insult. Like I liked Uncharted for what it was worth. But it's just like he's never been the problem. He's just not been great at picking great projects. And I think for him, you could not bet on a better horse than Christopher Nolan, who is the biggest unicorn in all of directing right now, where every movie he makes a fuck ton of money, critics love it, and audiences love it. Like no director gets all three of those at a more consistent rate than Christopher Nolan.
Tarantino does.
No, but he doesn't get the money at the same level.
He doesn't make enough movies either, I guess.
Yeah, he doesn't make the type of money that Nolan makes. Every movie he makes is making $1 billion. No,
you're right. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I
will say Nolan did also direct like Tenet, which didn't achieve anything.
That was also released in the middle of COVID.
I know, but also like people didn't like it. I know like some. I know. Critics didn't like it.
Even that that's like the lowest critic score movie he has. I think it's like in the 80s.
Yeah.
And
I'm not shitting on Tenet.
You go look at Tarantino, like he'll have a movie that's like he'll have like what do you call it? You can't call it
like Hateful Eight is not.
Yeah. Great. But yeah, so Nolan is, I think, the best horse he could possibly bet on.
That's fair.
To show off that he's good and be in a good movie.
And I wonder about Tom Holland, and you wonder. So this casting perked my eyebrows. I'm super excited for the Nolan movie. I think Matt Damon's awesome. I think Tom Holland has been severely just hasn't worked, even though I love the actor a lot. Like he's so good and charming in Spider-Man. I have to think that can play somewhere else.
Yeah.
But then being like, all right, he kind of like resurrected like Robert Downey Jr.'s like serious career, and Robert Downey Jr. and Tom Holland are friends. Like, did Downey Jr. basically push Holland into this role, or like I wonder if there's some sort of like Marvel background that's like helping him cast these guys. I don't know, or maybe I'm just like looking too much.
There is kind of like a weird circle jerk here, especially because like Favreau did that for Downey Jr. Getting him back into the world, and Favreau also plays like a father figure for Tom Holland in Spider-Man with the character of Happy. And then it is a little bit of a circle jerk, but I think at the end of the day, it's very difficult to look at like Tom Holland, even in the bad movies, and be like he's a bad actor. He's a reason this is bad.
Yeah, I don't think he's a bad actor. I think he's a limited actor.
That's fair.
But he has things that not many other actors have. It's a real. I mean, you see those like AI deepfakes where people put him in Back to the Future. He does have a Michael J. Fox quality to him, where he's just really fucking charming all the time. It's very endearing.
Comp. Yeah. And Michael J. Fox, let's just talk about his career real quick, because that's a great comp, and it really made my brain spin some wheels here. So, Michael J. Fox on Family Ties, huge hit show. If you're young, you don't know, it was a giant, massive show. Does Back to the Future? Is Eric Stoltz got
massive hit?
I don't know, massive hit, and then immediately does like Teen Wolf came out after those tape before. That became a hit only because of Michael J. Fox being so, And then as Michael J. Fox got older, it was harder and harder for him to find roles. Now, one thing he did do, he did a panic deal. Found out he got Parkinson's and immediately signed, basically did every movie as fast as he could to get money for his family because he didn't think he'd be able to work long.
Yeah.
So he did a lot of bad movies. Like Greedy's a horrible movie. There's a lot of, For Love or for Money's a bad movie. The movie he did about the child agent's a terrible movie. But he also lost that je ne sais quoi as you got older. And I wonder if Tom Holland's going to have the same fate. Like, is Tom Holland at 40? Is that going to work?
Yeah, I wonder that too.
It's a good question.
I mean, Michael J. Fox did Spin City, which was a fine show.
I like Spin City.
But, he couldn't top-line movies anymore.
Yeah.
Is that going to happen to Tom Holland?
This will be the test, really. I mean, when was the last time Has Nolan ever had, I don't want to say a younger actor, but a younger-looking actor leading one of his movies? Ever? He has
not like I would say like a sub-30s guy.
DiCaprio in Inception.
But that's not even like sub-30. Like he was in his 40s.
He's supposed to be 40 with kids.
He was in his 30s.
I would say like a guy that looks like he could be younger than 30.
Yeah, Holland looks 25.
Right. He hasn't.
Not really.
Yeah, so this is interesting. I think it's a very unique casting, and like you said, Holland, if he wants to, get out of the rut, I don't think everything he's done has been terrible, but there's been nothing that really, makes you want to pound the table for
Chaos
him.
walking.
You guys ever seen Casualties of War?
That was the one with Michael J. Fox, right?
Yeah, so 1989, Michael J. Fox is wrapping up Family Ties. Sean Penn and Brian De Palma decided to do a movie together about Sean Penn's basically like an evil Vietnam soldier.
It's like the My Lai massacre. Or whatever,
yes,
right?
yeah. And Michael J. Fox is the guy that witnesses and kind of is the whistleblower on this whole thing. And it's a fine movie. Sean Penn's incredible. Michael J. Fox is good, but it just doesn't quite work. And it's just because Sean Penn and Michael J. Fox are such different energy beasts.
Yeah.
And I worry, that's the other thing I thought of when I saw this. I'm like, is this going to work? I just thought of Casualties of War. I'm like,
was there Keith David in that too, I think?
He might have been. I forget.
I just remember there was one scene, after the big battle scene, there's one American soldier that comes out and just, stabs himself in the leg so that he can get sent home. He's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And I think that was Keith David.
I haven't seen it in years. But
man, because I just watched The Thing too, man. That's why.
It just doesn't work. And I'm wondering, can you put Tom Holland in a serious, dramatic movie? I think you can, but I do have that Casualties of War in the back of my head.
Espionage sounds cool. I feel like he'd be a good fit. And
right.
Damon too. I see he's got the Bourne movies and all that shit. I mean, that's top tier to me. Also, I've just started rewatching The Americans for the first time in a while. Fuck, it's so good.
Couldn't get into it.
It's so
Carrie Russell show, right?
Carrie Russell and Matthew Rhys. So fucking good, man. It's so I can't believe you can't get into it.
I know.
It's all in the 80s, Reagan era fucking espionage.
And who's the other guy in it? I like the actor a lot. He was in Frequency.
Rupert Friend?
No, the redheaded guy, the big.
Oh yeah.
His brother runs New Line.
He's one of the ultimate. You see him and he's fuck. I couldn't tell you his name ever, but he's the ultimate that guy actor. The Americans. What the fuck is his name? Noah Emmerich.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yep. It's one of the. Yeah. I mean, I'll show you his face, and you're just gonna immediately be like that.
Oh yeah.
He's really good in Frequency. The Jim Caviezel.
He was in. Wasn't he the best friend in Truman Show?
Yes,
good
You're
call.
Right.
Good
You're
call.
Right. And he's very good. He's a very good actor.
What did I see him in? I just watched a movie with him 2 days ago. Now it's
Noah Emmerich.
It's escaping me.
Dude,
Miracle. He's the assistant coach.
Oh, I didn't put that together.
Miracle.
He's
the assistant.
When he's going again. He's like, I don't know. Yeah. That's what I mean. He's one of those guys. He pops up. He's good in everything. Right?
He's really good in The Americans too. He's the FBI agent that's tasked to find them.
He's good.
But yeah, that's the news items. Now we're gonna go through a few things that just we've been watching. I haven't had a ton of time. This last week's been kind of nuts. Hadn't had time to go to the theater, but you've been to a lot. So you just saw The Brutalist yesterday.
Yes.
So you can give your thoughts on that.
The Brutalist is a movie watcher's movie. To put that out, I don't mean that as a negative. If you're a typical just want to see the Marvel stuff, that's fine. But you probably won't like this movie. That's just what I'm going to tell you. It's long.
What do you mean you won't like this movie? Without giving details, but what do you mean exactly?
It is to really enjoy it. You have to be kind of tapped into a lot of things going on all at once, and the movie really demands your attention and kind of attention.
You got to be locked
details.
in.
Okay.
It is so. Brady Corbett did a Q&A afterwards, and he talked about how he started the writing process. He started just wanting to make a movie about brutalism. It wasn't going to be about an architect or, a man in love or a man escaping the Holocaust. It was about brutalism, and then he worked back from there and filled in the blanks. So the movie lives and breathes that. It's, gaudy. It's there's just the score is loud and, obnoxious at points, but beautiful. I think it's a lock for best score at this point. And the performances are incredible. Big swings across the board. Guy Pearce. Fantastic. Do not be surprised if he shows up as a supporting actor with a supporting actor nom. He's incredible. So is Felicity Jones, who plays his wife.
Oh, she's great too.
Fantastic movie. The comps would be There Will Be Blood has been thrown out a lot. I think it's much closer to Once Upon a Time in America.
Okay.
That would be the comp. That's especially
that it does feel
especially in terms of pacing.
Feel in terms of the length for sure.
Yes, in terms of the length, in terms of the pacing, it never slows down, but it's not a fast movie either. And then it's got an ending that I really liked. I wish I loved. If I had loved it, it would have been at 5 stars. I really liked it. It's at 4.5 stars. I want to see it again. It's see it on film if you can, and 70 millimeters especially if you can. It's really good stuff. But I really don't know how wide it's gonna go.
When visionary architect Laszlo and his wife Erzsébet flee post-war Europe in 1947 to rebuild their legacy and witness the birth of modern America. Their lives are changed forever when by a mysterious and wealthy client, like you mentioned, Adrian Brody, Felicity Jones, Guy Pearce, among others.
Where does this rank for you among movies you've seen this year? Like,
it's third.
Okay.
It's third. Right off the bat.
What's it behind?
It's behind Dune Part 2. That's my number one. I don't think that's going to move unless something crazy happens. 2's Anora.
Okay.
I loved
right.
Anora. Anora is the best picture contender along with Dune that you think Sean Baker, art house director, A24. It's a crowd pleaser. Like, it is Pretty Women meets After Hours. It's a lot of fun. It's funny. It's sad. It's great. I'll recommend that one to everyone. This one, I'll be careful about who I recommend it to. Like, I'm not going to tell my mom to go watch this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, you probably love
if you're listening to this,
like,
definitely go see it. Great stuff. I also saw Piece by Piece last week. The Pharrell Lego biopic movie. It was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was fun. Very fun way to do a biopic, but I wish it was better. I don't know if you're going to enjoy it if you don't like Pharrell's like music. Like, if you don't like Nerd, if you don't like the Neptunes, if you're not, up to date on his career, you're not going to like it. Like,
I don't know if he was famous enough for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I can think of three people I would watch that.
I like him. So I was like, oh, yeah. But the plot's very much driven by and then I made this song. It's kind of like they're shooting it like a documentary at the same time. Like, it's a biopic, but he's also sitting in a chair. Not like a live action version of him. Like, he's like a Lego man on a chair talking about everything that's happening.
Like, I don't know if I would watch like a Lego biopic of like Drake or like I'm trying to think like singularly like very popular like Taylor Swift. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't want to see a Lego biopic of anyone. I'm not. Like, I don't want to see. There's no one I would want to see.
Yeah.
Not one person in the whole world who's ever lived.
It would have to be like the creator of Lego.
That would be cool. I wouldn't mind.
All right, maybe. All right, I'll amend that.
Because that at least like makes more, at least in my brain, more.
Put me in a writer's room right now. But those are the only two I saw this week in theaters.
Venom: The Last Dance, which Eddie and Venom on the run face pursuit from both worlds. As circumstances tighten, they're compelled to make a heart-wrenching choice that could mark the end of their symbiotic partnership. Directed by Kelly Marcel and Tom Hart, written partially by Tom Hardy, Juno Temple, among many others. Andy Serkis, Reese fans, Stephen Graham. Which what the fuck was he doing in this? Chiwetel Ejiofor. We watched it right before filming this. It is. I think I saw a lot of people saying this. It is very similar to the last one as far as my general. And I was more disgusted by the last one. I'm like, what the fuck is this? But this one had more moments, especially towards the end, where I was like, oh, okay, this at least looks cool, or this fight sequences look more interesting than the last one. CG at some points looks better than the last one. The characters are still like I don't care about Venom that much, and I feel like I haven't been. The first one, like you kind of like you get into a little bit, like the back and forth is kind of like snappy. By this point, it sucked. It was bad. I didn't like it on a whole, and just everything about it was very, I don't know, not forced, but like you could feel the fatigue very heavily throughout the movie.
You think they were too in on the joke at this point?
We watched it together. The ending sequence where they're playing what's the Maroon 5 song? Like, here's to the one that we got. It's
very tongue in cheek. I always question this. So like I'm always like, look at this cast. The cast itself isn't bad, right?
No.
And I wonder, like, with, like, Juno Temple, right?
Yeah.
She's a pretty good actress. Like, why do this? Like, I understand you say it's money. I'm sure you should get other acting jobs. But, like, how much extra money does it take to do that? Like, you're wasting your time, your effort. You know, you're not doing other projects to do this. Like, how much is it? 200% more than you usually make? 400%? Like, what level do you have to hit to make this worthwhile?
I think especially after, like...
And, like, all these people have money already.
Yeah. It's like a paycheck job, but at the same time, like, for them, when they see, hey, look, this last movie bottomed out, like, was so bad. Like, the ratings and the reviews, like, money, everything was... Or maybe the money wasn't... How much money did Venom 2?
It's fucking crazy. I actually looked up the ratings. Somehow the Venom 2's got higher ratings.
Than Venom 1?
Than Venom 1.
That's
critics and audiences.
That is batshit crazy. Anybody that watched that movie thought it was better than the first one is a maniac. Okay, yeah, so here's correction. Venom 2 made plenty of money. $100 million budget, made $500 million back. That's
Jesus Christ.
it made plenty of money. So correction on that. But I feel like the general consensus of it is that, or maybe not, it's also wrong too. So I don't know.
People.
No, Venom 2 is a bad movie. Everyone knows it's a bad movie. Everyone knows it sucks.
It's a meme. I think it's like the only successful like meme movie. I'll be honest. Like I think kids really think it's funny. Like teenagers and like.
So is it the teenagers telling like I don't know if these actors have kids like why do I don't understand like why do this like obviously I know it's for money but like can't be that much money.
I think it's a lot of money. I think it's a whole lot of money. I think probably their agents get in their ear and they're like, like, need to keep you relevant. You don't have anything lined up. We can get you in on this.
A tentpole movie.
This will keep your name, in the mix. Like, I think that's kind of how they probably get sold.
So it's ego and it's just like an insane paycheck.
Yeah, I mean, there's a show going right now on HBO. I don't know if you've checked it out yet. The Franchise, and it's about the production of a superhero movie within the context. I mean, it's supposed to be the MCU. It's very clearly like MCU. And one of the characters is, Academy Award. She's coming off an Academy Award nomination.
She's supposed to be Brie Larson, basically.
Okay.
And yeah, she just took it for a paycheck, and she hates her life.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
So you had been watching a few things.
Yes.
You watched Beetlejuice.
I did. It was fine. It's I don't know if it was necessary. In fact, it wasn't necessary. I mean, nothing's necessary.
We said it was the Mendoza line of like the exact level of being an okay remake or late reimagining, late reboot, late.
I might put
sequel.
it a touch above that, I guess, because there was some creativity in it. It was the Tim Burton movie that annoyed me the least of his most recent work. It was nice to see like Winona Ryder, in a non-Stranger Things role, like actually like acting again. Catherine O'Hara is always fun, but like, and Michael Keaton's great.
Mm.
So like there was enough little things. It's hard because talk about like Gen X coming from me. Beetlejuice is a movie I have seen hundreds of times. It was on HBO growing up. I loved it. It was even had a Saturday morning cartoon for a few years that I would watch. Like Beetlejuice was a really important movie to me, and my childhood. And this was just fine. I didn't regret seeing it, but it wasn't like honestly like a year from now I'll probably never think of it again.
That's basically where we landed.
Yeah,
more or less.
Yeah, there's some funny bits I will think. The Italian cinema bit really got to me.
Tim Burton just being really horny for
Tim Burton being very horny.
Oh yeah, big.
Just no reason for that woman.
She had zero bearing on the movie.
None.
She just would show up every 10 minutes and be like just hot,
being sexy, and that was it.
He just wanted to see her staple herself back together again. That segment alone was like 10 minutes. It was way too long.
Very funny.
You also been watching The Summit?
Yes, this is on CBS. Yes, so this is a reality show on CBS. And it's Survivor-esque in that you have like basically 15, 16 people or whatever have $1 million split among them, and they're each carrying the cash in their back, and they have to climb this New Zealand mountain, and people do get eliminated along the way, and the challenge like just climbing the mountain is incredibly hard, and it's not all athletes, it's like some 56-year-old like waitress in Long Island is one. Like it's just like regular people, and if they can only go as fast as the slowest person. And you don't want anyone to quit because if you quit, you lose the money. So you're trying to inspire people to keep going, but then the next day you could vote them out. And it's just very well done. Like, and the mountain itself is like such a looming figure. So it's on Paramount Plus.
That sounds cool.
It's like I'm not a big reality show person at all. I love Survivor, but I'm not. Other than that, I don't really watch reality programming. And for some reason, I'm like, I'll give this a try. Like the commercials are good. And I'm like, oh, I kind of like this a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I think it's been 3 or 4 episodes.
What if they did that? And not to give them too much of a free idea here. Have you ever watched Cutthroat Kitchen?
No.
So in that show, you're all, like it's 4 chefs, and they each are given right off the bat. Here's $25,000. You have while you're cooking, we're going to give you sabotages, and you can buy them, and that comes out of how much money you can win from the show.
Okay.
So like you could be like, hey, everyone else has to cook using only aluminum foil.
Yeah.
And that costs $5,000 out of your thing. What if they did that on the climb? It's like, hey, you have $50,000, let's say, each walk up the mountain, and then like you at your stop, they're like, hey, you can pay $10,000. Everyone else has to be barefoot for the next.
Well, the thing is, the money's shared. So
yeah.
And the other kind of catch is if they don't make it to the mountain in 14 days, no one gets money.
Oh Jesus! All right, I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's definitely worth if you're looking for that. If you like that kind of program, if you like Survivor, I would recommend checking it out.
You also watch Kevin can F himself, which people do like.
Yeah, so I'd never seen this before. I'd always been intrigued by it on AMC, obviously, and I was just up late watching like on Netflix. And
that's the one with what's her face from Schitt's Creek,
Schitt's
right?
Creek, yeah.
Annie. Oh my God, I'm sorry, I forget her name. She's a very good actress.
Annie Murphy.
Annie Murphy. I think you're right. And she's good. She's really good. Is it the greatest thing I've ever seen? No, it's a fun premise. It's only 16 episodes. They're like 45 minutes each, so you can kind of blow through them pretty quick. It's enjoyable, and basically if you don't know, it's a sitcom, and then it breaks down kind of that wall, and then you see like what the life of a sitcom wife is really like, and it'd be horrible. Like if you're like the wife of like Kevin James's wife, or you're the wife of Ray Romano, like it's a horrible existence.
Yeah.
And it kind of like plays off that, and it's good. Like I said, it's not the greatest thing I've ever seen, but it's certainly worth watching late at night if you're looking for something.
We watched the newest episode of the franchise, which I thought was really good. The Brie Larson parody shit is
How many
so
episodes
funny.
have they had of this show? Because now I'm in
3, and it's Armando Iannucci from Veep
and Sam Mendes.
And Sam Mendes.
Sam Mendes is directing it.
Yeah, I know. HBO is not promoting it at all.
You're a huge Sam Mendes
I love
guy.
Sam Mendes. Wrote a prediction, the most beautiful film
And
ever
you
made.
can tell he's had the opening shot is like this really cool tracking shot through the whole set, and you can just tell Sam Mendes did that.
Oh, I'll check this. I don't know how I missed it. The problem is, man, like with baseball, like playoffs.
Yeah.
I am been like I said, I just finally saw Beetlejuice. I still haven't seen Joker. I still have. I know everyone says don't see it, but I almost feel like I have.
Earnestly don't.
Do not.
I know.
It's really not even.
I've seen every live action Batman movie in the theater since '89 Batman. Every single one, even though
it's already on digital. Just go fucking.
I know, but I got to go to the movie. I haven't seen
bad.
I haven't seen Saturday Night, and I love Saturday Night Live. Right, Live in New York's my favorite
You
books.
should definitely see Saturday Night.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna try. I'm way behind on everything. The Mets have like ruined my pop culture awareness.
But yeah, franchise
sounds great.
This newest episode with the Brie Larson parody I thought was awesome.
Also, Billy Magnuson just hilarious in this role.
Very funny.
The wool bit turning into a sheep was very
like all the different. He wants to stay like ripped to like compete with the other big action stars and everything like that. He's like taking all these different like HGH compounds. He's like, no, this one is like a sheep toradol that they used to keep sheep's fat, and like it's.
He's got like a piece of wool growing out of his back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been great. I also forgot to mention, did see We Live in Time last week.
Yeah.
Oh.
Your girlfriend dragged you to that. Don't worry, it's great.
All right.
Yeah, it's
How sad?
really good. It's very sad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a woman with cancer.
Yeah.
It's sad, but it's good. I'll be honest, I wanted it to be better. I don't think it's an award contender, like even a little bit.
Not even for like a lead actor or actress.
It's too melodramatic.
Yeah, it's really in a Nicholas Sparks territory. But it's like elevated Nicholas Sparks. But it's like very much like, oh, she's a chef and she's cooking even though she's got cancer. It's the
They gonna start dating?
those two.
They're both
they
single,
can
right?
beard for each other.
Yeah, it's also true. That's probably more likely. But yeah, the franchise has been great.
Yes.
Uzumaki ended. I know you haven't.
I still haven't watched.
The people, it got off to like a rough start with that second episode that everyone was complaining about. First episode was still sick. The last episode was creepy as fuck. Very good ending. I think they landed the plane, and based on what I read or whatever, they did a decently good job at like I don't know, staying faithful to the manga and all that. So that part's cool too. Anything else you've been watching?
Oh, and we got to talk about the Penguin. Have you been
I
watching
almost
the Penguin?
forgot the Penguin.
So I'm actually gonna dip out. If you guys want to talk Penguin, because I don't want any spoilers. I have not seen the second episode.
We could do a no
You can do it.
spoilers.
I can dip out. It's okay.
This one might be tough.
You guys should talk Penguin, because I know people want to hear Penguin. I know and it's only because once again fucking baseball. I haven't had time to like sit down. And, I've been Penguin looks, and tell me if I'm wrong here. I feel like it's a deep quality show that Kevin can fuck himself, or like The Summit I can kind of watch, and like I care, but
Yeah.
I feel like Penguin I want to be like fully vested.
Yeah, you do have to be locked in on it.
Yeah.
I'll dip. You guys talk Penguin. That's okay.
We could also just mention quickly Agatha All Along. I think just ended, right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I did see the reveal of who Aubrey Plaza's character ended up being.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Cool. I saw people were like, or at least we got tweets after the last episode. They're like, "Why are you guys like shitting on?" It's like we're not shitting on. It's just not for us.
Yeah,
it could be for anyone. It's not something for us. Don't have a ton of interest in it. Watch the first few episodes. It's not for me.
If you give it a chance, you don't like it. That's kind of perfectly fine.
Yeah, and if
it's okay not to like stuff as long as you give it a chance.
Yeah, and if someone else watched it and you like it, great. No fucking problem with that. But yeah, so
talk Penguin. I'm out of here.
Yeah, all right, we'll wrap up with Penguin. But thank you, Klemmer, for joining.
Thank you guys.
I watched Brothers on the Flight. You're great. That movie was ass.
We could talk about Brothers.
I didn't laugh one time.
We can mention Brothers then. So just for Penguin, newest episode, obviously there's like a lot of fallout that came, I would say, because the previous episode is fucking crazy, like one of the better episodes of television this year. And that's like, so how do you follow that up, right? And I think that the newest one, it's like it's not as good as the last episode, but still, that was a really fucking good. That's one of the best. That's probably second best episode of the series.
Fantastic. Yeah, no, this show has not missed or skipped a beat yet.
Mm-hmm.
It is very. I love that they really built Oz up as someone you kind of root for.
Yeah.
Through the first 3 episodes, and these past 2 episodes have just been tearing that down and being like, "Oh yeah, no, did you forget? This is the villain.
He sucks and is a criminal.
This is the villain.
Yeah.
He's a piece of shit."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I really hope they keep. I don't know how this is gonna end. We can make our predictions here in a second because you brought up a theory that I'm all the way in on.
Yeah.
In our group text, but I really hope they keep Sophia or Kristen Milioti around because I'm talking about for the movies too, or a second season if they end up doing that, or whatever they're gonna do in Matt Reeves' Gotham crime. They gave it a name. I don't know. Matt Reeves' Batverse.
Reeves-verse, yeah.
I really hope she sticks around. It's a great character. It's a very, very well written. You don't get a lot of really well written female villains, and she's one of them.
Yeah. My theory for this, which I was working out with actually with Trill Ballins, was that, and the spoilers. So if you haven't watched, you're not caught up on Penguin, just tune out. We'll be moving. We'll talk about Brothers for a bit later. So my theory kind of with Trill was that the whole thing is like, hey, Milioti was kind of like, gaslit, whatever, like and being forced into going to Arkham, and she's actually like, taking back power and becoming like, big girl boss hero and all that shit. And like that to me, it would be so cool to subvert that, and instead it'd be like, hey, she actually is a psychopathic serial killer that killed all of these women, and what we saw in that flashback was her own like schizophrenic makeup, like her schizophrenic memory of what happened, and that's not the reality of what really happened. And I think if that is the payoff, I think it'd be so cool because we're so like conditioned in these series and these shows, like, oh well, obviously she's the good guy. Yeah. Like she was fucked with by the men, she was fucked with by this, and now she's becoming the big girl boss. Like that's like the most obvious now, I would say, recurring storyline, right? Yes. So I think if they subvert that and she's like actually this insane serial killer, and that is why all these people have already been afraid of her, and that's why, like, at least to my memory of the show, nobody within the Falcone family has been like, yeah, we fucked with you, sorry, like you didn't deserve that. Like no one was like repentant about it, even when they were threatened. Like,
yes,
everyone's just like no mention of that. And if they subverted that and she's actually like a psycho serial killer, it'd be so cool.
And they're actually terrified. Like, think back to the first episode.
Yeah.
Introduction. The room tenses up immediately. You can see it right on Oz's face. And Oz doesn't back down from anyone. His asshole puckers up.
Mm-hmm.
And that wouldn't just be because they fucked her over. Like, if they fucked her over, they would, not be worried about her at all because they can do whatever they want. They can walk all over her. I think this has legs. They haven't shown any of the people. They never showed any of the people who were murdered.
Yeah.
Jane Doe's. Except for her mom. They showed her feet, but they didn't, show how that came to be.
Yep.
They said she had mental illness, her mother and her. I think it might be legitimate. Like, I really think she might have done this shit. Or at least they're leaving the door open for her to at least be involved. She's obviously got screws loose. Gigante, which was awesome.
It's a cool scene.
That was very cool. To just have a backup, a sick-ass backup last name in the bag. You can go from Falcone to Gigante.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, no, I think she's also, I think this is also a situation where they'll tear her down in the last, like, couple episodes and realize that these are just two actually insane villains just going at it.
It'd be cool, man. That's all I think.
I think it's a really good theory.
By the way, I saw a lot of people that have kept trying to, and like we mentioned this, we made the comp too. Obviously, it feels like Sopranos light at points, like this big Italian New York crime family thing, and like the way some of the dynamics work. A lot of people were like, "Hey, when I look at Oz and Vic, I see them as Tony and Chris." I don't see it like that.
No,
I think that if anything, Oz is Chris, because Chrissy is a guy. When you think about Chrissy as a character throughout Sopranos, he constantly feels disrespected as his station. He's super insecure about everything. And all he wants to do is like move up and feel like he's in charge and feel powerful and stuff. That's Chrissy in Sopranos, and that's Oz. So if anything, I think that's the better comp. And maybe like, I don't know what you would consider.
They wouldn't even keep a Vic around.
Vic would not.
Vic wouldn't be around in the Sopranos.
No.
Like Tony wouldn't have his Tony didn't have the patience for that kind of shit.
No, not at all. It'd be, if anything, Vic would be like the kids that Chrissy had under his command. You know, the ones that try to shoot him later, the worked for like the stock exchange or whatever.
I actually do not remember that.
It was the kid from the Bronx Tale was like his like lieutenant, or like not lieutenant, but like they worked for him in like doing some stock pump and dump thing. Shout out to fucking Walking Bets. The allegedly. But yeah, so that's the Penguin. Very excited about it, and I think if they
what do we have? Is it an 8-episode season or 9-episode season?
I think it's 8, right?
Okay.
Like they wouldn't do 9 or past 8.
They do 9 now, and I think it's something to do with the Emmy rulings of what's considered miniseries versus full series. I think 9 puts you over into a full series.
Okay.
Yeah, this is in the miniseries. I mean, whatever it gets submitted in, I don't think it's been a really strong year for television. Am I crazy in saying that?
No, I don't think so. As far as like prestige level stuff goes.
So I think there's a lane there where the Penguin really sweeps up.
Now we can talk lastly about Brothers, a movie that I think we were both kind of excited about because like Dinklage and Brolin is such a bizarro combo, and the idea of like them playing twins, like almost thinking DeVito and Schwarzenegger, all that shit, not exactly, but like something like that. And them being in a comedy, and like the general thesis of it being like the heist shit, all that kind of seems funny. And to give you just like the lowdown of the movie, Max Barbakow is the director.
Palm Springs director.
It's about Moke, who's now living an honest life with his wife Abby, and his twin brother JD comes to ask for one last favor on a heist. While Farfel is a correctional officer at a prison whose father's a judge, who was Emmett Walsh, who passed away recently, I think. Right? He's the guy from like Blood Simple and shit.
Who played his father?
The judge, Emmett Walsh.
Okay,
yeah.
I recognized him, but I could not place it.
He's in like a lot of Coen shit, I think.
Okay.
Ironically, because the story is written by Etan Cohen. But yeah, so this is a movie I'm pretty excited about. I think that me and my lady watched the movie together, and we had a pretty good time with it. There are problems with this movie, no doubt. But I think there are some. You didn't laugh. You said you didn't laugh at once in this. When I watched the scene where they're doing a Mad Max sequence with golf carts and a fucking backhoe, that's funny to me.
I did laugh when the guy jumped off the wood chipper and then he laid it on the ground and then immediately got ran over by a golf cart. That gave me a little chuckle. I'll be honest, I was not in the right. I wish I'd watched this under different circumstances. I watched this on a plane at 9 a.m. It's like probably not the right time to watch a comedy movie.
Yeah.
But I do think like the biggest problem for this movie for me was just like it just isn't quite funny enough.
Sure. I think one of the biggest problems to me, and I hate to say this, somebody didn't tell Brendan Fraser what to do here. I don't think, because Brolin and Dinklage are playing this movie a very specific way. Like, goofy for sure.
Yes.
But not over the top. And then Fraser is playing this so over the top.
Yeah.
And I feel like their styles kind of clash in the scenes that they're together. And there are some points where it works really well and it's really funny. But I think for a lot of the movie, it doesn't. And also, I don't know if you noticed this. I'm not claiming to be some sort of expert in like ADR or whatever. I feel like the ADR is really fucked up in this movie.
See, I didn't notice that. That just could be.
I was watching on a big screen.
Watching it on headphones.
Yeah. But it was
tiny screen.
I was watching it. It constantly felt like there were lines coming from someone whose mouth wasn't moving from a shot from the side. There was like a sound coming when no one was talking. Like a lot of shit like that. I don't know if that's just my brain not working right on it, or maybe something was fucked up with it. But that I think was fine. But I thought there were some funny scenes in this. The scene where what's his name? Fraser throws him into that was funny as fuck, even after seeing the trailer.
Yeah, that just the way he flies is just it's very funny. I'm sorry, Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
The way you just got chucked was just goddamn hysterical.
I thought Glenn Close was probably not the greatest.
Yeah, Glenn Close, weird choice there. She makes weird decisions. She takes a lot of paychecks. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Marissa Tomei. So a lot of these
another person that did a little too over the top.
But I will say I think she's the only actor here with the comedic ability to kind of elevate the material that they were given. Like Peter Dinklage, comedically pretty good. Like obviously Game of Thrones Tyrion is a very funny character. Josh Brolin, haven't really seen him in a lot of comedic stuff, but he plays that kind of, straight man idiot very well. He's still not like a comedic mastermind. I think Marissa Tomei is the only one in this group that I think if you put 3 more like really strong comedic actors in here, this works. I don't know if the talent was there for this to really go over the top for me.
Yeah, I think maybe it would be better with like charming funny. Like I don't think that Brolin or Dinklage have that level. They're both dry funny, I would say. Like even if you think Brolin in Deadpool 2, I think is very funny.
Okay, yeah.
He's dry and he's serious versus like the very goofball Deadpool character. And I feel like maybe
you're also just not going to convince me that Josh Brolin's a loser. Like a loser working in the fast. Like it's Josh Brolin. Like look at that man. Doesn't matter what he was going to do.
Yeah,
he's not working at a fast food station. I'll tell you that much.
I thought the scene where he got molested by the orangutan was pretty funny too.
That threw me off. The orangutan really threw me off.
It was very random and like, why the fuck is there a giant CGI orangutan here? And at first I'm like, this is weird. And then once he started like molesting him,
it didn't make me laugh the first time. The second time when Brendan Fraser goes back, that's when I was like, okay, Jesus.
He's just covering himself in what do you call it? Hand sanitizer.
Yes. Yeah, no, this movie is very skippable. I'll just say that. It's very missable. Which is upsetting because I really did have high hopes for it. The trailer was great, and like we said, Max Barbacal. I loved Palm Springs. I think this is like his first movie since then. I could be wrong.
Yes, his first movie since then.
Yeah, which is crazy because, damn, Palm Springs is fantastic. Yeah, I really wanted to love this, just didn't. I just really didn't.
I think I would agree with you in that some other people in it would probably make it better. I think some of the material, the ideas in the material, some of it was funny, maybe just a little bit different execution.
And it does, like, story-wise, it actually works, like, front to back. Like, it's paced well. It's structured correctly. Like, yeah, the story, I like the story, kind of. Like, it's kind of like a Logan Lucky kind of story where you have, like, a bunch of, rednecks running around trying to rob a place. And
I also like the flashback scenes I thought were all really cool. Like, the person who played young Glenn Close.
Yeah.
Fucking badass.
Yeah, she was ripped.
Yeah, she was like shredded. There was one scene where she's like standing over someone and I'm like, yo, this is ripped.
Has she been in anything? Because I was like, she has to be a stunt double.
Jennifer Landon, who was in Yellowstone, ironically we just talked about, The Front Runner, I Spit on Your Grave 3, Vengeance is Mine.
Spit on Your Grave 3?
Yeah. Hellstrom on TV.
Yeah, she was jacked.
Dude, ripped. But yeah, that was Animal Kingdom.
She looked like Sarah Connor.
Yeah, dude, she's fucking huge. But yeah, I would agree with you in that. Skippable is probably not the worst way to describe it, but I think if you're looking for something goofy and new, you're not gonna find a lot of worse options.
Yeah. What else is coming out?
Yeah, let's see movies. I'm going to see Anora hopefully this weekend. It's been. Dude, they don't even play it in Lincoln Center.
I know. I'm telling you, A24 has fucked this release.
It's like already, and it had hype months ago. Months and months
ago. It won the fucking Palme d'Or.
Yeah, like
which
how
is
do you
like the Oscar? It is the best that is winning Best Picture in Europe. Like,
it's fucking crazy that like that was what like April, not April.
It's like June, I think, right?
Yeah, it was a long time ago. And like to have all that like, oh, this is going to be good, sort of hype, like, and not put this wide or advertise it more, other than just like basically these companies just kind of like bumping it out, like every retweet or quote tweet that people have it, but like those are only 10 people that had seen the movie. I don't know. That's just kind of crazy. Yeah, you got a little bump out of it.
It's a neon release. Sorry.
Yeah, that's why it's the bump. It's a neon. Yeah, it's those two they run the same circles.
Yeah,
I think neon doesn't get enough credit for being arguably as consistent.
Yes,
as
very much
A24.
Very much so. They've won 5 straight Palme d'Ors, which is crazy.
It's Goodrich, which I'm not like dying.
Oh no, that's
it's the Michael
Keaton old dad.
Yeah. Canary Black, forgot that was coming out.
Conclave is coming out this weekend.
Conclave is one I do really want to see because I'm hearing nothing great things about that. And I mentioned, I think last time we talked about Conclave, I love the Two Popes.
Yeah,
that was such a good movie. That was just two fucking really good old actors just going back to back, or like kind of shot for shot, whatever. That came out. We could do Conclave next week. We could do, and by this time I've seen Anora, so we can.
We should definitely just hit Anora.
Yeah, so let's rip those two. So if you can see Anora, I'm not gonna yell at you if you couldn't see Anora because they're making it impossible to see. But if not that, then Conclave. Nothing else huge coming out. I mean, if you really want to go see Venom, we already talked about.
Yeah, but like you're not listening to like. No one who's seeing the Venom movie is going home and listening to a breakdown of the Venom movie or a review. Like, you just go to see that.
Yeah, and kill 2 hours of time. But yeah, that's those are the movies for next week. We will see you then.
Ooh, happy Halloween.